Just do what you do? Should I just be a closeted racist bigot while I virtue signal about BLM rights? Should I do that? Is that better? Maybe you spend too much time debating King James version onlyists like the cult of Matt Powell.
Your question is, how do I know that this place is created when I can't see the creator? That's like me asking, I don't know, who sculpted this, so because I don't know, therefore it was not sculpted. It's the same logic. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
No, it's not.
Okay, we know
we know that statue was created by something, and you can research that something, you can find that something. If he's still living, you can go talk to that something. You can't do that with God.
It's the same thing with God.
It's quite different.
Okay, so for the audience who has not seen The Rage and his one of his videos about Smokey and then Smokey's response, I got some massive entertainment from the nickname that was assigned to Smokey by The Rage, which was Icky Taint.
I got everything unmuted, I think. What's up, you heathens and demons, you sinners and saints, you beautiful, blasphemous bastards. Welcome back to The Raging Atheist. We are going to have some fun today because I got this super fun email from Skyout. And I have to give a shout out to Skyout. If you're still in the side chat, dog, I got to give you props. You are the only person in a really long time that has tried to convert me back to Christianity. I give you props, but I'm going to laugh at you today because it's fucking funny. But I had to bring back some I had to bring some help into this. So, I brought in Otangelo, and I'm going to get him on the screen for you guys. So let me get him on the screen. Where am I at? I'm right here. Boom. I need that one. I got Otangelo here. What's up, Otangelo? And you are muted.
Hello, Ronnie.
Hey, what's up, Otangelo? I'm glad that you could be here and to maybe help Sky out with his conversion of the Raging Atheist.
Well, yes, and I told and I'm getting some kind of echo back.
Oh, yeah. Let me remove that. All right, should be better now.
But you said that Skyout is the only one to try and convert you. The reason I talk with you, and I appreciate that you talk with me, is that I would like to convert you because I don't want you to burn in hell for eternity.
Yeah, I don't want to burn in hell for eternity either. That's why I'm kind of glad that it doesn't exist. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Skyout or if yourself will be able to actually convert me to a Christian God. And not some deist thing.
Well, and I noticed a lifelong friend of yours is in the chat, Chris Myers, and is he going to burn in hell too?
I'm not sure, honestly. He probably he does live in a liberal state, and he is one of those damn liberals.
That's a bad word.
You're doing such a good job at this. People think you're actually Otangelo.
Well, I don't feel as if I'm on my game today, but actually, I'm sure some more discerning folks in the audience have already picked up on the fact that it's me, John Peterson, and I'm back. I'm back,
John?
baby.
John's back, y'all. John is back. He's not just making an appearance. John is back. What's up, John?
I'm back. Not
a fan of in person. Yeah, I mean, we're having fun with Otangelo. What's up? What's up, John?
Yeah. Well, and then the other thing is like
I couldn't keep a straight face through
it. I haven't done it in a while, so it wasn't really all that great. But I gotta see, because the thing is I can get it really good because the like anybody that does impressions, like there's like a phrase that they need to say that the other person says, like to get them in it, And my phrase has always been speed, speed, like because when I put on Speech Channel, and then of course I couldn't just do that, I was trying to do it backstage, and yeah, we just thought we'd have a little fun, and instead of just coming right out with it in the thumbnail and be like, yeah, John will be back for this. And, I don't know, who we fooled and who we didn't. I'm sure some of the people that have heard me do that. Hello, Marty.
I had to be giving it away with my smile. I couldn't keep a straight face.
Well, and yeah, and about Skyout too. Like, if I had my druthers, I can deal with Otangelo more than I can Skyout, because Otangelo can actually be reasonable, and at sometimes, I mean, he's not reasonable in his beliefs, but sometimes, and when he gets like all mad and puffy and everything, it's actually kind of a good time. It's funny, and Skyout is just such bottom of the barrel dregs of idiocy that it's just like he's like a lol's cow.
We used to call him the punching bag back in the old Discord server.
Yeah.
I mean, people actually got mad at me, like, dude, you've got to stop beating up on Skyout all the time.
I mean, it's just like one of those. I mean, it's all the old cliches with Scott. I mean, he's got like one of the most punchable faces in existence. He's the stuff he says is, just like he sends this email we're going to discuss that he had sent to Rage here is, and he quotes all these Bible verses and everything. It's like, dude, have you met the raging atheist? What do you think Bible verses are going to fucking sway him?
Right?
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I know. Like, Bible verses are my stick. That's my main argument against the Christian God is Bible verses.
It's like, hey, here, let me quote some Harry Potter to you, and hopefully that'll convert you. Like, get the fuck out of here. And I like that new opening. I haven't heard that yet. Because I've been away.
Well, I just made it. Today was the first time I put it up. So.
Oh, okay. And I do want anybody that they did a video when I left a few months ago, and hi Tentai say, and I just want to thank everybody that commented on that video and sent their well wishes and everything. And I got to tell you, when I made that video and all the responses I got, I mean, you guys touched my heart, and it kind of made me feel good that. You guys seem to want me in the community, and I knew I was going to come back at some point, and that just reinforced the fact that I would come back. So thank you so much for that. My mom passed away on May 17th, in the wee hours of May 17th, and the kind of odd thing, and this is one of the things, the way this happened, people that believe in God would be like, oh, that's a sign. That's an omen. Oh, look how that works. My father died 39 years ago on May 17th. Now, that's just a coincidence, okay? But religious people would put some import on that. And, oh, see, like, at any rate. But it was one of those things where she kind of, withered away at the end there. She had cancer all throughout her body. She had the Alzheimer's and all that. And I feel like me and my family, we did a lot of mourning while she was dying, because she was basically gone for the last week and a half, and just laying there. And, if you'd walk up and hold her hand and talk to her, she'd squeeze your hand. She knew you were there, but, we had to keep her on the morphine there so she wasn't feeling pain from the cancer. So, then I took a couple weeks afterwards, and I was watching one of Ronnie's videos yesterday, and I was just like, yeah, I got to get back in on that shit, man. And then when he told me about the Skyout shit he was going to review, I was like, oh, man.
Yeah, that's like the perfect one.
Yeah, I got to get back in on that.
Yeah, that's the perfect one for you to come back on, I think, is this Skyout stream is just perfect.
and then just real quick from that opening, fucking Smokey. Hey, you got to quit going after those King's James onlyists. Like, what, King's James? Like, well, I don't remember that book from the Bible. I mean, I was a Christian, but there's King's James. I mean, what the fuck is that? And then Mad Ducks, referring to Rage as massive entertainment. And I'm like, yeah, have you ever listened to yourself, motherfucker?
Yeah, no.
You talk about massive entertainment.
No self-awareness with the Mad Ducks for sure.
Right.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Smokey making up a new word, King James onlyists.
Kings, but it's the Kings,
Yeah.
It's King James. It's not King's James.
Yeah, it's King James, not King's James. And King James onlyist, they don't call themselves that. They call themselves NIFBs, New Independent Fundamentalist Baptists. And they're not the only King James only. I think a lot of Christians are King James only because it's what they were raised up on. And in fact, for the longest time, I would only read King James because I was so conscious of people not taking the other translations seriously. But I ultimately got over it. Translation is a translation, right? So...
Yeah, just real quick, Tentaise says, now if you're back, man, there's a lot of Darth Dawkins review. And just to catch on there, Native Atheist says hello. Hey, how you doing, Native Atheist? Cryptomeria sends their message about what I just went through. I like that. Thank you. Hello, Les Nagy.
King James, doesn't he play basketball for the Lakers?
Yeah. Kent Hovind CPA is in here. Love that guy. He lives in the state that's got that cheap fucking weed, man. I almost want to move there. Lori Hayes, David says hello, says welcome back. And Marty said hi. Love Marty. There's Marty, and Atheist Junior's here. Oh, Atheist Junior, I don't know. Has he been coming on this channel in the comments, Rage?
Yeah, in the side chat. I need to get him on for a conversation one of these days.
Yeah. I've been in the last few weeks. I was on a couple streams on Speed's channel with him.
I'm gonna try to get back to like booking and stuff, like getting guests on, especially once because a week from this Wednesday I'll be starting the new weekly show, and I want to have guests booked for that.
And hello, Phil Ko. I'm not sure if I know you. KCA Randy's in the house.
Yeah, I saw Les Nagy. What's up, Les Nagy, all the way from Australia? We got a pretty good showing. Pale Blue Mama. What's up, Mama?
Is Mama Atheist here?
Yep, Math Pig. What's up, Math Pig?
All right.
This is gonna be fun. So let's get into it. I got an email from Skyout a day or two ago now. I was gonna do this yesterday, and my mouth's still a bit sore. I had the 2 molars extracted. The second one didn't want to come out, y'all. It was stubborn, and eventually it broke, and they had to drill it out. It was awful. I got some. They're probably dissolved now, at least most of them. But I had some stitches, so I decided to give it another day. Oh, go ahead.
Real quick, I was just going to say, my mouth's still sore. I'm so happy that was followed with I had 2 molars taken out. Yeah. I was wondering why your mouth was sore and going in places you don't.
That's relevant for the title of this email that I got from Skyout, because you would think like if a Christian is going to try to convert you, right, they'd be I don't know, at least pleasant about it. But the title of the email I got, John, was "You Suck Dick." That's the title of the email that I'm about.
Oh, so that's why your mouth is sore?
Yeah, that's why my mouth is sore.
Yeah.
Because
well, and here's the thing, and how Christian of him to title that email that. And what I want to ask Skyout, I don't know if he's still here. I haven't seen him post in a while, but
he's probably listening at work. I'm guessing.
Oh, is there Wi-Fi under the bridge where he gives blowjob?
Well, maybe there's Wi-Fi everywhere.
But the first, and you can confirm this because the first time you told me about this yesterday, the first words out of my mouth when you told me the title of it was, "Well, when you review that, you've got to say something." And as it turns out, I decided to come on. Is you got to say something about, okay, so what's so wrong with that? Like like you first of all, very Christian again of you to make that the title of your email, but then Skyout, like, so are you trying to say that there's something inherently immoral about sucking dick? I mean, because I've had many, girlfriends in my life, and they sucked my dick, and they were good people, and I loved them and all that shit, and then if you were, implying to Ronnie that he should suck your dick or anything like that, well, then, you're for some reason you've got a problem with gay people. I mean, I know you're Christian. I know in the Bible it tells you to kill gay people. So, that might be a bit of your problem. You might want to start reading some books that aren't 2,000 years old.
Well, and that is the problem, I think, because like, didn't he, like, when he was doing those stupid ass skits, didn't he like come on here and try to justify like he doesn't hate gay people, like it's all comedy and shit like that?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That's. Yeah,
and he's trying to insult me by suggesting that I'm gay or whatever, which there would be nothing wrong with that. But I'm a cis male, so he thinks that that's going to somehow offend me, but it doesn't. It's like, I suck my thumb sometimes. At least I did when I was a child. Does that make me immoral?
Well, I mean, speaking of being a child, like, so I'm 57 years old, and so there was a time in my life when I was younger, and that's just the way it was in some of the era that I grew up in, is that we would do that same thing, okay? And I'm sure Ronnie will say the same thing. Now, you would go back and forth, and you would imply that some guy is gay, like trying to bust his balls or to insult him or embarrass him in front of people. And, the thing is people grow, they change, society grows and changes, and now we know that shouldn't be used as a pejorative, okay? Because if that happens to be someone's sexual orientation, that does not diminish them as a human being in any way.
Yeah, and it in no way insults me. Like, if that was his intention, he failed big time there.
Right. I mean, yeah. So it's just silly. I mean, it's just almost like it's kind of like it's the same thing as the sexist thing, like where, back in the day when I was a kid and everything, and prior to that, it was, women are the fair sex and they're not as capable as men and all this stuff. And it's just ridiculous. Okay. I mean, because, females are as capable in anything that males are, okay? And that's not to say that any female could do everything that every male might be able to do, but to intimate that they're not capable of doing it, I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it's been proven wrong time and time and time again. Don't let females into the military. Well, they're in the military and they do a hell of a job. Don't let them on police forces. Well, they're on police forces and they do a hell of a job. Well, women definitely can't be preachers. Now, some of your more successful preachers are women.
I had a yard sale this weekend, and this young lady showed up. Very good looking young lady, very thin, like very, very, very thin body. And I had like this plastic crate full of magazines. It was a bunch of National Geographic and Popular Mechanics and shit like that. And I'd sell it for $5. And it was full, and I'd carried it up from my basement apartment that morning. And so she bought that, a few other things. And then I said to her, and if you want to pull your car up the driveway, I can load that in your car for you. And she says, no, that's all right. She bent over and picked that son of a bitch up like it was a loaf of bread or something. And, and then after she left, in my head, I'm going, yeah, John, you're slipping back into your old, boomer sexist ways, like,
automatically assuming the men, yeah,
right, assuming that she needed help with that just because my old ass was like breathing heavy after I brought it upstairs, and she picked that shit up and her car was like half a block away and didn't look like she struggled at all. She probably could have kicked my ass in a minute.
Yeah, so I mean, Skyout's already failing, and I'm gonna go ahead and give it away, John. Spoiler alert. He doesn't convert me with this. What we're about to get into. He just doesn't. doesn't make a good case for the Christian God, in my opinion. But we'll get into this. It's probably gonna be a long, fun stream. We're gonna have fun. I was gonna have like a hashtag same as yours meme ready for the show today, and I forgot to do it. So we'll just have to bring up hashtag same as yours periodically through the stream, John.
Same as yours.
Yeah, same as yours. So
If everybody remembers that, that's from way back.
that's way back. That's classic Raging Atheist open rooms right there. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
against God damn it.
I believe that was Skyout, wasn't it?
Right, it was Skyout, but he was up against
Dragnot.
no.
I believe it was Dragnot.
I'm so pissing myself I can't pull his name up just because I've been at it for a while because he's such a great guy and
Sokka?
Sokka, yeah, holy fuck, am I a bummer?
I knew it was one of it was Dragnot and Sokka in the room, yeah. Yeah, those were good times. That was man. I need to hook up with Soccer Count. It's been too long. I need to get him on the show. But all right, so we're gonna get into this. Skyout says, "Yo, what up? It's Skyout. I heard you said you didn't believe in God because there is no evidence. Here are some arguments and reasons. Maybe your dumbass can learn and listen." First sentence there, you completely fail, Skyout, because you said you're upset because I don't believe in God because there's no evidence, and you're not going to try to supply evidence of God. You're going to give me arguments and reasons. Seriously?
And I noticed that a lot of theists do that. They confuse arguments with evidence. Okay, and it's not evidence. It's establishing. You can establish a probability with some of these arguments, that this could be an answer, of the myriad of answers that it could be, for the universe being and all that shit. But like when you give the arguments, that's not evidence. Evidence would be like, okay, go to this location and look behind this rock and there's God. That would be evidence, or, an audio tape or a videotape of God, explaining how he did it, or come up as a Christian with your own model, instead of like, well, God just spoke it into existence. That's what happened. That's how he did it. Ha ha.
Yeah. And yeah, it's funny because, as we get into this, he's going to be trying to use, science. Because, I think that he feels that's the best way to try to convert an atheist is to speak in our language, scientism, right? Like we have that religion of science.
Right.
And as long as Skyout has known me, he should probably know by now that, like, really, if you want to get through to me, you got to use fuck a lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, he did tell you to suck a dick. So.
Yeah, but it's not the right curse word. You got to tell me to, fuck, fuckity fuck, and then sprinkle in God said you could say fuck, and I'd be like, all right, I'll think about it. But like, science isn't really my forte. But I do find it hilarious, especially once we get down into the part where he starts giving me some Bible quotes that we can start looking at. It's Christians say they believe in a Christian God and then go out of their way to take away what the Christian God actually is, especially when you're talking about these scientific arguments trying to point to a creator of the universe. You totally take away the characteristics of the Christian God, and you really just find this deist place for yourself and call it the Christian God. It's really fucking weird. So he starts it off with that, and then he says, "My view is no amount of concrete physical reality is self-explanatory. Anytime you see intelligibility, you assume intelligence behind it. You see the entrance to history of God himself, rational intelligibility of the universe, supernatural existential, speak right, transcendent intelligibility, and intelligence, the mind of God. Science proves the God of the Bible." Now, I'm half convinced he copied and pasted this from somewhere, but then I see like the typos, and I'm like, maybe not. Maybe he copied it and wrote it down somewhere, and then retyped it, and that's why there's all these fucking typos.
Well, what it is that because I remember back in the day, you'd be talking to him, and you could see him, you know, going on some long spiel and looking up at one of the screens that he had up, and like you could see his eyes going back and forth, and he's just reading shit that he found online, and so he indoctrinated himself with all this stuff. So now it's in his head, and he's got his patter down, and then he goes to try and type it out, and then it's not a copy paste, when he's taking it out of his head, and sometimes I fuck up spelling too, but I can imagine that Skyout is not a very good speller. Mm-hmm. And that's how it happens. And then the other thing is, we were talking about a minute ago, and me and Ronnie were talking about this off air, is that, synonyms and antonyms, like a synonym is a word that is this, that says the same thing as another word. An antonym is a word that says the opposite of another word. And when you're talking about science, there's no greater antonym to science than religion. So for Skyout and these other people to, point out how, belief in God is scientifically accurate and the Bible's scientifically accurate. It's like, no, it's not at all. Like,
yeah, and the only way you can use science to explain your God is to take away any possible literal translation of your holy book. You might as well just toss your holy Bible in the garbage because it don't mean shit.
Yeah. Well, it is good for in a pinch if you don't have any rolling papers. You can roll a joint with Bible paper.
Yeah, and this does seem to be the new stick. And for the the new direction. He's for about a year now. Skyout's been like, I'm going to be a better interlocutor, and I'm going to come with smarter arguments. And I think that this is his attempt at it. He's latched on to science proves God. But for the audience, I know you guys might be a little weirded out. John keeps calling me Ronnie. That's because on the new channel, I'm completely embracing that. My book is pretty much done. I'm gonna probably do one more quick edit on it, and then I'm gonna start sending it out to the people that I want to read it and give me feedback on it before I think about publication. But I am embracing my real name now. And no shame to it. And it's something, honestly, I probably should have done from the very beginning. Instead of using my Native American name, I should have just used the name that I use on the regular to begin with, which I think I did my first few videos, honestly, on The Raging Atheist. I was using my real name back then anyway. But
I'm just like, I'm getting you. I admit I'm kind of purposely doing that today because, he's Ronnie. That's who he is. And he's my buddy Ronnie, and you'll hear me going back and forth. It'll be Rage, it'll be Knock, it'll be Ronnie. And then just real quick, there's somebody 300.
Yeah, it's a new Christian that's been hanging out with us.
Jesus says, "Blessed are those that believe and have not seen." Well, how about the ones that used to believe and now we see? Okay, because it's that I feel kind of the opposite. Like when I believed, I really didn't see things clearly, and now that I know that that's just a fairy tale, I see the world much more clearly.
Oh, yeah, and just think about that statement. Blessed are those that believe what they do, what they can't see, or what. I mean, it's like literally propelling you to believe in stupid shit and irrational shit and shit that doesn't exist, shit that you can't observe, you can't see, you can't feel, you can't taste, you can't touch. It's like believe against your senses. I mean, and it's just one of the dumbest phrases I've ever fucking heard in my life. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, right. It's like, and it's almost, it's very telling because it's almost like, those that believe and have not seen, like don't look too closely, don't examine this too much. Yeah. Just believe it, believe that we're telling you the truth. If you examine it too much, then you might become a non-believer. You might, we don't want you to possibly see that it's all fucking nonsense.
And by that reasoning, then every single Christian, right? Every single Christian, according to your worldview now, if this applies to like every theist, right? Because no theist actually has seen their God. They believe without seeing. They have faith. That's kind of what faith is. But by your definition here, every single Christian is blessed, man, because they believe in Jesus. They just might believe it in the wrong way, but hey, they haven't seen him, but they believe. So like all this bickering that we see among Christians is all nonsense that doesn't fucking matter, right? Right?
Yep. And then hi, secular pagan mom. She's in the house here. It says hi. Yeah, it's. I don't even know. Sometimes I don't even know what to say about it. It's like, and it's funny. We talk about, and I agree with this. People that believe in God, they're not crazy, okay, but they can be normal people. Most of the people that I'm friendly with that believe in God are reasonable people when it comes to all other aspects of their life. But you can say that one believing in something that they can't see or show that it exists, that is like kind of a delusional belief. I mean, but we're the crazy ones, like Skyout, like, well, you got to believe, or if Otangelo's here, you got to believe, or, as Ronnie's told me stories, members of his family, oh, you're just crazy to not believe. Like, well, no, like, we're not crazy not to believe. We're just like, instead of just saying it, instead of just, claiming all this shit, show us how it's true. Show us where this God is. And pointing to everything in the universe and saying, well, that's proof God exists. Like, look at that tree, look at that, look at that fog,
the awe, as Oprah said, right?
Yeah. Fucking nuts.
It's fucking crazy to me, man. And again, like, if you're gonna be a Christian and you're gonna believe in Yahweh, then you should believe in Yahweh, and you should know. I think you should go out of your way to know Yahweh, right? And you can only do that by the descriptors. Like, like I said, like in a previous stream, like I would never want to disillusion somebody of their more progressive thoughts on Yahweh. Like, if you've been able to somehow justify to yourself that this monster is some pleasant, loving thing, bless your heart. I don't want to disillusion that. But at the same time, you believe in this thing. Don't you think you should know what it wants from you?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, and when it comes to the Christian God, he is a masochistic, egomaniacal, infanticidal, homicidal, whatever, anti-woman, like, I mean, just one of the most prolific murderers in human literature. Now the 300 PZL, I'm going to just call him puzzle here, 300 puzzle. Most people agree that Jesus had good morals and good teachings, so I believe it inherently good to follow Jesus' teachings. And you are correct in that is the fantasy that most Christians have created for themselves, that Jesus was this loving, awesome, being that we should try and emulate and, have a good life and be like Jesus. But the fact of the matter is, if Jesus is God, then he is the same horrible piece of shit that God is. Okay. He drowned everybody at some point. He, tells people to kill gay people, and 1,000 other things you can find in the Bible that are completely immoral. Okay.
Yeah,
so
Jesus openly talks about a slave master relationship numerous times.
Yeah. Obey your master as you would the Lord, and speaking of slaves. And so, the thing is, it's all well and good, this fantasy picture of who Jesus is, that I'm glad that most Christians follow. I mean, because that's a good idea. But that's not really who Jesus is, because Jesus is God, and God is a horrible, homicidal, genocidal piece of garbage.
Yeah, and I maintain that most Christians don't even follow Jesus. If you look at the four Gospels, Jesus had a very fundamental Jewish message. He came to bring back the law. He didn't think that Jews were being Jewish enough, right? Like they just weren't following the Torah. They weren't following the law. I believe that most modern day Christians, they're Paulinites. They follow Paul, and Paul kind of hijacked that religion, right there at its foundation, and was able to make something out of it that he wanted to make out of it. I don't see no morality within Jesus Christ, honestly. Like I see a dude that was probably decent for his times, looking around at his society, didn't like it. So, if this guy existed, he led a movement to try to bring back those religious roots in a society that he saw as flawed, much like most Christians do in this modern society when they look at, how the country being more and more secular tends to go against what they think that their God wants from a country, and that will lead to more irrational beliefs like God sends hurricanes to punish the United States for allowing gay people to marriage, or back in the day it was HIV. God has sent this curse on all the gay people, and we found out about bisexuality, and straight people could get it too, right? So it's like
9/11 too, they say that was like a God.
Just a second. It's my daughter's lunchtime, so that's why I'm getting all these texts. Go ahead, John.
That's what that was. I wasn't even sure what that was. I'm starting to think maybe Puzzle here might be a Poe or a troll. He says after my rant so what if he flipped a few tables? Speaking of when he went into the temple and went after the money changers. But that's not what we're talking about, flipping a few tables. We're talking about the fact that, he decided to drown all but 8 people on the planet, including innocent infants and the unborn. We're talking about how he, sanctioned or told a group of people to go and slaughter another tribe and cut all the pregnant women's bellies open with swords and dash the children's heads against the rocks, and how he says in the Bible to gay people and unruly children and adulterers, and the list goes on, should be taken to the town square and stoned to death. We're not talking about flipping a few tables.
Yeah, and when you talk about flipping those few tables, that's like one of the best Jesus stories that Christians fucking ignore, right? Like, he's literally telling you not to have these institutions of religion taking your money, and yet that you go every Sunday to an institution of religion where they take your fucking money. Like, you didn't even listen to the guy. You listened to Paul.
Yeah, and somebody mentioned that. Cryptomeria had said, funny how prosperity churches skip over that part, the flipping of the tables. And you got people like, I can't even remember what his name is, the creepy fucking devil-looking dude that's a preacher.
Joel Osteen?
No, the other older guy.
Kenneth Copeland.
Yeah, exactly. And, that guy's got like 2 jets and several homes, and sorry. I mean, I was a Christian for 35 years, and I bought into that, ignoring that Jesus is God, and, Christ is just about love and being for your fellow man and everything. And that's not the way we were taught in my, little hometown church. It's, if you have riches, then you're supposed to, live your comfortable life with whatever riches you need to do that. And then the rest of it, you're supposed to give away to, the poor and the less fortunate.
Well, yeah, and I think Jesus's ultimate message was anti-rich. I think that there's really no denying that. Again, it seems like most modern Christians ignore the Gospels and they read everything else in the New Testament. And I never really understood that.
I mean, honestly,
they do pay attention to like the resurrection part of those Gospels, but that's about it.
I mean, honestly, and you might agree with me on this. Okay, like, so say you hit the lottery, or some long lost relative you forgot you had left you like a big fortune or something like that. Now, if you came across, even if it just $1 million, okay, you're in your 40s, I'm in my 50s. Don't you think that you could live a very comfortable life for the rest of your life with $1 million? Okay, so now you talk about somebody who's a billionaire. You talk about somebody who is a multimillionaire. You talk about hitting the lottery for $400 million. Myself, okay, if I and I'm not a Christian anymore, but if I like hit the lottery for like $400 million, I would probably keep $1 million or $2 of it to live out my comfortable life. and the rest of it, I would, give it away. I would, put it in some kind of like charitable program or something. I mean, because like, why in the fuck? Like, I don't need gold faucets and gold toilets. I don't need to have 5 homes. I don't, let alone, a home the size of a mansion. I don't need to have 50 cars.
Didn't Donald Trump like literally cover everything in one of his New York apartments in gold at one point?
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain I remember reading that.
Yeah. So here there's people, and there was a book put out many years ago, and I can't remember the fellow's name. It's something Singer, and he talked about, and this is how old the book is. What he talked about was that when people go out and buy luxury items, they're contributing to the horrible lives that some of our fellow human beings have to live. And his example was, you go out and buy that second VCR, and there's someone in Bangladesh that's, living on the street and not able to eat every day. You're contributing to that. And now I wouldn't go as far as he does, but there's a lot to be said. Okay, like Knock mentioned Donald Trump. Like Donald Trump, first of all, he's not worth as much as he claims he is. But, for him to have covered things in his home, covered a toilet with fucking gold while one person on this planet starves, I'm sorry, that makes him a piece of fucking garbage. Okay?
I mean, I say the same thing about Bezos. Any of these guys that just have so much money, like, how could you live with yourself? Maybe it's because I've lived in the gutter for most of my life. I've seen, like, absolute poverty. I've seen people living on the streets. And I don't think that I wouldn't ignore that if I had everything that these people have. And I'm not saying that they don't do charitable work. I think a lot of them do. But is it enough? When you're layering everything in fucking gold.
Well, and then here's the thing. Is it enough? It's like Scrooge McDuck. With his fucking vault of fucking money and coins and shit. Like, don't touch my shit. I mean, like, okay, so during my mom's illness, we would go up there and essentially, for lack of a better word, because of her dementia, we had to babysit her, and then towards the end, the only show she really wanted to watch was Dr. Phil. And so we'd watch Dr. Phil, and I can't stand Dr. Phil. And I remember here, like a couple months ago, there was an episode from a few years ago they were showing, and Dr. Phil was talking about all the great work they have done over there. And at that point, he'd been on the air like 16 years. All the great work that they had done, and all the money they had put out there, and and helping people out and everything. And it was like, over the 16 years, it was like $28 million. Like, oh, we put $28 million into people's lives and into helping people and all this shit. Okay, motherfucker makes $100 million a year. I can't remember. I'm off the top of my head. I actually did the math and figured it out. But like, off the top of my head, for the money he made in that 16 years and the amount of money he said he gave away or put into, helping people out over that 16 years, it was like less than 1 percentage point of what he actually earned. Okay. So, it's just like, okay, I'm on Social Security disability. I live off of a very small amount of money every year. Okay. I go, to a restaurant. I tip like a motherfucker. I go here, somebody delivers something to my house. I tip them like a motherfucker, So, Dr. Phil and all these rich people can talk about the charity they do. And thankfully they do it, because what they're doing does help people. But for them to brag about, or for us to like give them props for giving out such a small amount. Jeff, he mentioned, Knock mentioned Bezos. Bezos has so much money coming in from his, Amazon and his other ventures. He could literally divest himself of all of his money every year, and then by the end of the next year, he'd be just as rich.
Yeah, and I did on Twitter what I usually do. I'll start like a little shitstorm and then just get off Twitter and not respond. And I've seen some of the notifications, but it was a tweet about socialism and how I'm just like, I don't understand how workers can bring themselves to hate their politic, and they don't even know it. But yeah, I want to get back to Skyout. But like, everything that you've been saying is true, and especially like like this, me and you have both been very clear that you could prove the God of the Bible existed to us, that it was real, and we still wouldn't follow it because based upon the Bible, we see this thing as a monster. So even if it does turn out to be real and neither one of us think that it is, I think morally we've both been fairly consistent with stating that, we couldn't follow this thing, right? So, if you're going to try to prove to me that God exists, trying to do it with the Christian God is not going to help your cause, in my opinion. There are plenty of other gods out there that you could throw at me that I wouldn't find so fucking immoral. I might consider it if you actually gave me evidence of a God's existence, right?
Yeah. Hey, Geo Sam. Hey, puzzle again. So I missed this because I was on my rant there, but what do you think of the virgin birth? Well, first of all, the phrase virgin birth is an oxymoron. It's impossible. Now, babies are born. Babies are definitely virgins. I just want to point that out right now. But as far as a mother being a virgin, no, not possible. Okay. Now, there's some animals in the animal kingdom.
It's possible through artificial insemination, right? Like that would be the only way it would be possible.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Through science. Yeah, it could happen. But as far as we've talked about this before too. That's Joseph, I'm pregnant. It was this angel. Yeah, that's it. This angel came down and he had some of God's sperm and
Truth.
He put it in me, Like, get the fuck out. Yeah,
I don't believe in a virgin birth, and I don't think that you have any reason to believe in a virgin birth outside of a 2,000-year-old story that made it up.
Yeah.
And even, I think that, it's all about interpretation with these things, because, I can read that verse, and it's a very, it's like 2 lines in the fucking Bible that talks about Mary conceiving, right? And Gabriel comes down from the heavens, which we know to be outer space, right? Flies down. Mary's scared, doesn't like the appearance of this thing. And then it seems like she passes out and she wakes, and Gabriel's like, "Yep, I'm giving you the Spirit of the Lord." That can mean a lot of things, right? It doesn't have to mean I'm giving you the Holy Ghost. I'm giving you the Spirit. It means like I'm giving you some very advanced semen here.
Yeah, like Mary woke up in the middle of the night and there was some dude standing over her and he didn't expect her to wake up before he did what he came to do, and he's like, yeah. God sent me. That's the ticket. God sent me.
And that's the thing about the interpretation argument. And I never did get into part 2 with CJ Cox. I would actually like CJ Cox to come on, I think. And I need to reschedule with CJ about our conversation with homosexuality now that my mouth is feeling better. Yeah, the interpretation argument is a bitch because it's all about the interpretation. And honestly, an omnipotent, omnibenevolent God, master of the universe, should be able to use his fucking words and not make it so fucking cryptic, right?
Yeah.
I mean, clear as day. But yeah, let's get back into this because I want to get into the meat of it. So I'm going to read like a paragraph or two so we can and we can try to have fun with this. So it says, It therefore follows that the best explanation of the existence of the contingent universe is a transcendent personal being, which is what everybody means by God. No, not really. I mean, I think people have different interpretations of what God means, and I also think that, different gods do different shit. God is the best explanation of the origin of the universe. Atheists have typically held that the universe never had a beginning, but is just eternal in the past. And I don't think that that's an atheist. I think that's an old science thing. We came along.
Well, yes, there's one of the theories is called steady state, where the Earth, the universe just, keeps expanding and then shrinking and expanding and then shrinking.
Yeah. So, God is, where was I at? God is the best explanation of the origin of the universe. Atheists have typically held that the universe never had a beginning, but is just eternal in the past. But we now have pretty strong evidence that the universe is not eternal in the past, but had an absolute beginning a finite time ago. In 2003, Arvind Borde, Alan Guth, and Alexander Vilenkin were able to prove that any universe which is on average in a state of cosmic expansion throughout its history cannot be infinite in the past, but must have a past space-time boundary. Because we don't yet have a quantum theory of gravity, we can't provide a physical description of the first split second of the universe. But any sort of quantum physical state which may have characterized the early universe cannot be eternal in the past because it is unstable and so must have had an absolute beginning. Even if our universe is just a part of a so-called multiverse composed of many universes, the multiverse itself must have had an absolute beginning. So now I am officially like 2 paragraphs into this email, John, and there is no doubt that Skyout didn't write this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's funny you say that because you're taking the words right out of my mouth. Zero fucking chance that these are all Skyout's thoughts. Okay, and I would hazard a guess that if I took that email and I had Skyout here right now and he was on camera and I knew he could look it up on Google and could just answer, like that, it would have to answer like that. Like if we went through that email and asked him what certain things meant and what the definition of certain words that he wrote down were, he would not know. He would not be able to tell you what they were.
No.
He could sit there and maybe and a few times and look it up on Google real quick. But
yeah, I mean, he might have a script ready for it at this point. But yeah, like if he's on camera and he's not looking at his script and we know he's just going on the cuff, no way in hell. But all right, so let's break that down because he's trying to say that atheists have said that I guess he hasn't watched Science Falsely So Called, where Matt Powell points out how atheists talk about the Big Bang Theory and how the universe had a beginning all the fucking time. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about right here, John.
Well, yeah, I mean, and then the other thing is there they go, putting all atheists in this one box. All atheists believe this. All atheists think this way.
And like we pointed out, that was an old scientific thing. Science has advanced, right? Like we had Hubble, we found out that the universe was expanding. Science advances, old theories get booted when they're disproven, right?
Apparently black holes are hell portals, according to Puzzle. But it's just like, okay, it's the thing with people calling atheists Darwinists or evolutionists, and people saying that all atheists have like this liberal worldview and stuff. Not true at all. Plenty of conservative.
I know atheist Trumpers, John. I mean,
I'm just
plenty of them.
Taking the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say, there's plenty of fucking atheists out there that are whack job Trumpists for sure. So yeah, that's what they're doing. They're doing what they always do. You're an atheist, so you are in this pigeonhole right here.
Yeah, and it's going to get worse. So, I mean, just complete nonsense, right? You're coming at me with a Christian God. You do much better with Wonkin Tonka. Like I even said that to Nephilim Free. Like Wonkin Tonka is such a better God. If you want to convert somebody that cares about the morality thing, that's kind of what I talk about is morality, and that's kind of like the battles that I have here on this channel. You would want to come with a moral God, but so we're not even getting to a Christian God here. Like there's nothing in here that's telling me, hey, the Christian God is the one. I mean, we'll get there eventually.
I mean, you could like you said, there's a lot other God. You can almost maybe get me on the deistic kind of thing.
I understand. Somebody that holds to that is like, I don't got an issue with you.
Like, here's this fucking powerful being came, created everything, and then he fucked off. And he didn't get shit. Puzzle there says, that's my opinion, LOL, about the gates, black holes being the gates to hell. Hey, Puzzle, I've got a black hole over here that'll take you straight to hell. It's a little more dark brown than black, but come on, buddy.
I was watching a documentary yesterday about the portals. I don't know if you've ever seen anything about the real life space gates or I can't remember the old sci-fi show, but
Stargate.
Stargates, yeah, and like this documentary and this conspiracy theory about why America really attacked Iraq is because there's Stargates in Iraq and shit, and we're not letting people go to certain areas because we don't want them going to the next dimension or what the fuck ever. I mean, it's a bunch of crazy shit. It brought it to mind as you was talking about that. But to what you were saying, John, lumping us atheists together, Skyout is going to outdo himself. So next paragraph is, Skeptic or atheist is governed by two principles. One, all beliefs must be supported by observational evidence. And two, beliefs that contradict observational evidence cannot be tolerated. However, strong atheism, and I swear to you guys, John, I didn't read this to John before this. Right? However, strong atheism states that there is no God, even though observational evidence indicates that the universe has a cause that cannot be detected observationally. So despite the lack of observational evidence for a naturalistic cause for the universe, the strong atheist believes that the universe has a naturalistic cause and there is no God, contradicting the tenet that all beliefs should be based upon observational evidence. That's a mouthful.
Okay, now here I want him. Scott, could you use the word observational like 15 more times in the same sentence? And then like, oh my God, the reason I laughed out loud is because what a lack of fucking self-awareness.
I know, right?
Any of your beliefs must be supported by strong evidence. I mean, really?
Like you're a Christian. You have faith.
Right. Faith, the opposite of evidence. Like the faith, believing in something, having a religious apprehension in the absence of any evidence. That's exactly what faith is when you're talking about faith as it relates to religion. And you're going to fucking send Knock a fucking email saying, any belief has to be backed by strong evidence. Yeah, that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Show us strong evidence. Like, what the fuck?
And that's the thing, like with the rest of this, until we get to the Bible verses, I do believe, like you can, just like Skyout, just read your words and think about yourself. Like seriously, because you're talking to me, but really it's like he's talking to himself, or it's like he's subconsciously trying to tell himself to stop believing in this bullshit. Like, because you could flip everything he's saying to me back on him so easily. Like, just open your fucking eyes, dude. You know, like this next paragraph, we're going to get in. Sometimes atheists assert that there is no proof God exists. The only problem is that an atheist cannot logically make that claim. In order to state there is no proof for God's existence, the atheist would have to know all alleged proofs that exist in order to then state that there is no proof for God's existence. But since he cannot know all things, he cannot logically state there is no proof for God's existence. At best, an atheist can only state that of all the alleged proofs he has seen thus far, none have worked. He could even say that he believes there are no proofs for God's existence. But then, this means there is the possibility that there is a proof or proofs out there that he simply has not yet encountered one. Nevertheless, if there was a proof that truly did prove God's existence, would the atheist be able to accept it, given that his presuppositions are in opposition to the existence of God? In other words, given that the atheist has a presupposition base that there is no God, in order for him to accept a proof for God's existence, he would have to change his presupposition base. This is not easy to do and would involve a major paradigm shift in the belief structure of the atheist. Therefore, an atheist presupposition is hostile to any proofs for God's existence and is less likely to be objective about such attempted proofs. Now, if I were to substitute, John, Christian with atheist in this, it would be 100% accurate and actually make some sense.
Well, right. And, so, and the longer this goes on, I wanted to say, like, he's taken a lot of time here to communicate with you. It's, in the title of it, now I'm wondering if maybe he wants to suck your dick. But, all that big, long-winded, like, couple paragraphs you just read it boils down to, yep, guess what? Proving that no God exists in the universe is unfalsifiable. That's all that says right there, okay? And we agree with that, okay? Because to prove that not even one of the gods exists, I've said that exist, and I've said this many times before, you would need, because of the claims of what their gods are capable of, you would need to simultaneously examine the entirety of the universe and the entirety of what lies beyond the universe, and to show that there's no God, and that's impossible to do, because according to most God beliefs, their God is part of part of reality and not part of reality, and can go back and forth in time and all this stuff. So, you would have to examine the entirety of the universe simultaneously, or else you could be examining the universe over here and then he'd just go over here. You could be examining the universe in this time frame and he would just go to another time frame and hide from it. So that's all that long-winded bullshit said, was that proving that no God exists is unfalsifiable.
Yeah, so I'm going to reread the last few sentences of that word salad, but I'm just going to change up a couple things. So, in other words, given that the Christian has a presupposition base that there is a God, in order for him to accept the fact that there is no God, well, he would have to change his presupposition base. This is not easy to do and would involve a major paradigm shift in the belief structure of the Christian. Therefore, a Christian presupposition is hostile to any evidence that there is no God and is less likely to be objective about such attempted proofs. See how that works, Skyout?
Yeah, and then, and that reminds me of something I was going to say a few minutes ago, is like, okay, like people like Skyout and all these other apologists and stuff, who are trying to convince non-believers, that they should believe and everything. A lot of that energy they spend in trying to convince us is really them trying to convince themselves, or keep themselves convinced. Okay, I have to keep spewing this out because somewhere in the corner of my mind, I'm not buying it either. So I truly believe that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's almost like he's trying to convince himself here, right? But I want to give him props. Like, most Christians just attack me, and Skyout does plenty of attacking on myself. I'm not saying he doesn't, but at least he's making an attempt, right? Like nobody, like not even people in my family do that, and never have. Like, they just don't. Like, nope, that's a stubborn motherfucker. I'm gonna leave that one alone, right? At least he's trying, But all right, so here we go. I think this might be my favorite paragraph. The Bible is 99% accurate than all religions. This is like why I know, if he did do a copy and paste job, John, then whatever he copied it off of just has a shit ton of typos in it. The Bible is 99% accurate than all religions. I'm assuming that's than all other religions or something like that. That's why not Allah or Hindu or Buddha. Science has proved the God of the Bible. You have it, like, in anything that he said, he has not really made a case for any Christian God. He's just talked shit about atheists and
right, and especially not with any science.
Yeah, not with any science. Science has proved the God of the Bible. That's why we all know Jesus Christ is our creator and designer of this whole universe. Like, really? When people say, what about other books about gods? Those books are not like the Bible, which is 99% accurate than all religions on this planet, which is more. I don't even know what he's trying to say here, because he's like not putting the right words in.
99% accurate. So wait a minute. So plants came around before the sun. The mustard seed is the smallest seed. What else? I mean, there's hundreds of other things that.
Yeah, I don't.
Consistencies and inaccuracies in the Bible we could talk about.
Yeah, it's just so weird. But those books are not like the Bible, which is 99% accurate, more than all religions on this planet. I think he needs to put more in here. Science has proved quantum physics, cosmology, the theory of general relativity, and the Bible is accurate describing them in the universe. That's why we got scientists believing in God. I got 10 astrophysicists, 10 cosmologists, 10 mathematicians, 10 bioengineers, all believing in the Bible and the one true God, Jesus Christ. I think he sold me there. He's got 10 of each of them, and that has to be a sign.
Yeah, 10 of each. I mean, I must be the devil. I've only got 9 fingers. Look, the thing is, though, okay, look at history. Okay, why is it that the more scientific knowledge we learn as a species, that more and more scientists do not believe in God? Now, 200 years ago, 99% of all scientists, and it was the churches that did start, a lot of sciences and a lot of scientific endeavors. Okay, but
Yeah,
that's all changed now. Okay, when you look at the group of the people that are in science, and now it's only like 45% of scientists are also religious. Okay, and of the religious ones, many of them leave their religion at the door. Okay, they
yeah.
yeah.
Like, do you think he really thinks that we as atheists think that every single scientist on this planet is an atheist? Like, does he really think that that's something that we consider?
Right, and then scientists see, people that are scientifically minded, they can have a much more open mind as a believer. Okay, because it's just like the argument that people make, the ones that the young Earth creationists who say that evolution is bunk and everything. Well, open-minded scientist would say, well, I know evolution is true because of my endeavors and my education, and I've looked at it. I know it's true, and I can accept the fact that evolution is true, and maybe that's the mechanism God created, for life to come about. And it's just one of those things where, from the beginning of scientific endeavors till present day, they just kept filling in all the gaps where God was. Okay, like people thought thunder was Thor, and this happens, because it's God and all that stuff. And now we know it's not true. Like if Mir not got in a time machine and went back 1,000 years and say all we took with us was a Bic lighter, by the time you got to this time frame again, Mir Knock would be the God that everybody believes in.
Well, yeah, and like, speaking of like science, and you're right, like religions, not just Christianity, but religions did start a lot of sciences, and it started with religious institutions a lot of times. But then every time those sciences or those ideas would come and start to, as you said, fill in the gaps, well, then they would come down hard on those scientists and usually fucking kill them and started a war on science that we have lived with for generation after generation after generation, to where now, like, this is funny because half of Christians are probably more progressive and aren't like taking the Bible so literally, but some of these people that are coming with this argument are actual fundamental Christians that take the Bible literally. And it's like, in order to do that, this science thing doesn't work for you. Like, because if you're taking the God literally, like what the Bible says literally, then this science thing just doesn't work for you, because science has pretty much proved all of this shit bunk.
Well, and Skyout, I got to tell you, man, I mean, of your arguments, that's one of the poorer ones, okay? Because as I said, and again, I might not be completely accurate on the figures I'm giving because it's been a while since I looked at them, but you bring up scientists and how, hey, this is all this shit, Christian shit is scientific, and scientists, I've got 10, freaking gynecologists that agree, or whatever the hell it was, that's a poor argument, because when it comes to the scientific community, they are a much higher percentage of non-believers than the average citizen. Okay, like I said, it's somewhere like down the middle, like 50-50, or I think it's even greater percentage to the non-belief side. Whereas if you take people that identify as atheists and other non-believers, if you looked at it worldwide, then maybe you could say 15-20% of humanity doesn't believe. And here you are, you're bringing science up to bolster your argument that Christianity is true, when in fact that demographic of society, that demographic of the world's population, has a greater percentage of non-believers than the wider the wider audience, the wider demographic. all of us.
I think you're spot on. I haven't seen official numbers on it. I think we assume that there's probably a majority of at least agnostic / atheist in the science community, right? Maybe if you want to lump in the deists, well, no, I'm not going to go there because I think actually most. We'll call it like that 55 to 60% agnostic / atheist in the science community, but you still have quite a few quote unquote theistic scientists. But even within that group, I do think that because they're scientists and they're smart for one, but they probably have a better understanding of how the Earth came about. Fundamental theism of any ilk is going to be a rarity. I'm not saying it's impossible. Like the Mad Ducks loves to trot out some fundamental scientists, right? Or standing for truth. They love to trot out some really fundamental scientists. But it's a much smaller demographic within the scientific community than it would even be in society. Like, here in America, I think it's roughly 47, 48% of the Christians in America are fundamental Christians. That's a huge chunk of Christianity in America,
Very good. And now the YEC crowd, Young Earth Creationists, they do like to throw out, hey, here's this one scientist, or here's these few scientists that agree with us and everything. They're,
I'll be right back, John. I'm gonna fill my drink.
Yeah, they're bottom of the barrel. They're outside the norm. Okay, and like I said before, scientists that still hold their religious beliefs, they're just open-minded enough to say, I'm going to follow the evidence where it goes. And no matter what my scientific findings are, the bottom line is I can attribute that to God. That's the mechanism God used to create this or to do that or this, that, or the other thing. But they're not bringing their God belief into the science. They're doing their science. And at the end of the day, they're saying, well, this experiment, this study, this paper shows me that this is the scientific facts, and my God can do anything, so my God did that. And then you have the YECs that, well, no, I mean, it's not millions of years old. This planet's only 10,000, the universe is only 10,000 years old. And then you have these outliers, these few scientists that are so indoctrinated by their beliefs that they want to ignore the science. But, like I'm trying to think, like over on Speed's channel, he battles back and forth with this guy, Sal Cordova, who is some type of scientist. I can't remember what. Yeah, and he believes all this crazy shit in spite of what he's learned from science. And it's nuts, And then you take his beliefs and his claims and compare them to the majority of scientists who are not going to deny scientific facts. But as I said, at the end of the day, they're going to say, well, this is a scientific fact. It doesn't change the fact that I believe in God because this is a mechanism that God could have created. Yeah,
I agree. And it's funny here because, he sums it up in this last real paragraph. Those that deny God deny science. An atheist will admit if God does not exist, then human beings are nothing but advanced primates, a mindless, unguided process by Darwinian evolution, by natural selection. To an atheist, human life is subjective, relative, and meaningless. Just like a cow saying moo, an atheist life is just like another animal, an advanced primate that is predetermined by their DNA, like a dog that is the atheist view that there is no God, no meaning, no purpose. We are here by DNA, and we are just like dogs and cats. We have no value. Now, why would atheists want that instead of 99% question mark?
Yeah, same as your Skyout. So look, okay, this is a favorite trope of Christians and God believers that just drives me nuts. God equals meaning. Okay, you can't have meaning in life, or you can't have a purposeful life without God in your life. Okay, nothing could be further from the truth. Okay, the fact of the matter is that people who are atheists that do not believe in an afterlife, how do you think we're going to treat life? Okay, people have meaning in their lives because they give it meaning. The meaning of your life is what you make it. The energy that you put into living this life is much higher if you don't believe in this dumbass afterlife, which is the dumbest fucking oxymoron ever. Afterlife, no, death comes after life. And because I know that this is the only life I get, there's more meaning to this life than there could be for any Christian or any other religious person.
Yeah, to me, like, all right, so we are primates. To me, I'm a hairless monkey. And as Brainbug is pointing out in the sign chat, is he implying that we are mindless? A cow mooing that's how that cow communicates, right? Like a dog barking, that dog is communicating something in that bark, right? Like that's their form of communication. We speak. We have a very a highly evolved form of communication. There is no doubt. But you can see similarities there, right? I don't. And yes, I, as the atheist that I am, do subscribe to what he's calling Darwinian evolution. I think we've come a long way since Darwinian evolution. I think we've come a long way since then. And there's a lot more science to it, actual science, actual evidence to the theory of evolution, which the theory of God, can't even really call it a theory of God because there is no fucking evidence for it. There's just what people said for 10,000 years. You have evidence for that. And I do believe that we are primates. And I really think that, we as human beings should put greater emphasis on the life of these animals. Now, I'm no vegan. I'm a bad leftist. I eat meat. But at the same time, I do think we should have a higher level of compassion for our fellow animals that are sharing this world with us. It's not just us here dominating this planet because some God made us and told us that we are. It's all of us here sharing this planet, and humans need to stop destroying the fucking ecosystem. Yeah, I do believe that shit.
It's you're definitely right. Not to go down on a tangent here, but that's when I've gotten arguments with like vegans and stuff like that. It's that no, eating meat is not inherently immoral. What's immoral is the means by which we produce our animals and dispatch them. That's the
I think making meat consumption a product of and I don't want to get into a rabbit hole here either on it, but I do think there's a problem of mass production of meat. I do have a moral issue with that.
Right, and that's what it is. We could go about it. It's the factory farming
and the way
stuff
they
like
kill the
that.
animals and all of that. Yeah.
Right. And then like a chicken, living in like a 8x8 cage for their whole life and shit like that. Yeah, that's wrong. But as far as eating meat, being immoral.
Man,
no.
I had the best steak of my life last night. I ain't even gonna lie. I cooked that shit spot on. Nice and soft because with my teeth I need soft food, so I pounded that shit. It was nice. It was delicious.
And don't get me wrong, I'm a member of PETA.
I think I used to be. I haven't really involved.
Well, no, I'm a member of PETA, People Eating Tasty Animals.
Well, I was thinking of the animal rights groups. I used to be a member of that way back in the day, but I haven't participated in a long time. I think they went, I don't know, a little cray there for a point.
You remember what was the story about it the years and years ago? Well, it wasn't a story. It actually happened where the plane crashed on the mountain, and then to survive, they had to eat the dead people.
Wasn't it called Alive or something like that?
I'm not talking about movies about it, but there was an actual incident where that.
Yeah,
happened.
It was like a soccer team, and they crash landed on the Alps, and they ended up eating several of the people that died in the crash.
I'm telling you right now, if I'm starving and there's some dead people around, especially you're in a cold place where it's staying nice and fresh, I'm slicing that shit off and I'm staying alive. It's just meat. That's all we are. We're meat.
Well, there's some science behind it. Like the body starts to eat itself once you cannibalize. So it definitely for a quick solution. Yeah, I would probably agree. You never know what you're gonna do in a situation.
I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm talking about survival only. I'm not talking about, and then you walk away from the survival situation and, wow, man. Boy, I missed the taste.
They
I
say
missed
it's
the
so
taste.
good you become addicted to it, man. You
Yeah.
didn't see
Yeah,
that South, did you see that South Park?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like,
I think
boy,
it was South Park. I think it was South
I
Park.
wish I could have another Fred steak right.
We're gonna have an icky taint talking about how we're cannibals now. You know this, right?
Right.
All right, so last little paragraph, and then he gets into his proofs, his scientific proofs, and that's going to be fun. But before I even do that, I got to show you where he got this shit. Scientific and biblical principles using cosmology, astronomy, and quantum physics all prove the existence of God, of the Bible. Why the God of the Bible and not any other God or book? The Bible is 99% accurate than any religion on the planet. Science and the Bible prove the Christian God. All right. Applause, Skyout. You made the attempt, and I'm giving you props for making the attempt. You want to try to convert your boy. A lot of other Christians, most other Christians just gave up on that years ago, and Skyout's like, nope, I'm going to give it the old college try. You tried, you failed. He does go on to list, and I do want to talk about some of these Bible verses. We'll look at some of these Bible verses and shit, but I do want to show you, and you should. I'm gonna share my screen real quick, John. Because he sent me this, because I emailed him back, and I'm like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever fucking seen. And he sent me, oh, let's not do that right yet. He sent me this. Now we can get down here. And it's a website called Evidence for God. And all this shit just, this is where he got it. This is, Skyout, you don't plagiarize something and then send this to the person that you plagiarized to where you got the information you plagiarized. I just thought that was kind of fucking funny. Because when Skyout sent me that, he did send me this video that I want to watch as well. So I'm only going to cover a couple of these things. So he says, time had a beginning. 2 Timothy 1:9. So I'm going to pull up 2 Timothy 1:9.
Yeah, hey, brain bug. I'd have to eat brains to get Kuru, and I admit I had to look that up.
All right, so time had a beginning. 2 Timothy 1:9. So he's saying, I guess, that the Bible is proven right by science because time had a beginning. And just so many Christians get so butthurt when you suggest the Big Bang and that the universe had a beginning, because I think most fundamentalist Christians understand anyway that if you try to put a date on the universe and give it the scientific date, then it's not the date that it gives in the Holy Bible, and you're not talking about the Christian God. You're talking about something completely different if you're actually talking about a creator of what we know to the universe to be today, right? You're just talking about something different. So 2 Timothy 1:9, it says, he has saved us and called us to a holy life, not because of anything we have done, but because of his own purpose and grace. This grace was given us in Christ Jesus before the beginning of time. And I'm like, is that validating science right there? And is that even really validating what the story of the Bible says? Because Jesus Christ was around 2,000 years ago, yo. How did Jesus Christ do anything before the beginning of time?
Well, I mean, and then
at the beginning of time, wouldn't it just have been God there, Yahweh? And I mean, they're the same thing, but so I guess technically, so was Yahweh schizo at the beginning of time? That's my question, John.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. And I'm getting all that echoing.
Oh yeah, that echo because I didn't take it off. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so it's problematic for Christians and other religious people to talk about time and to disagree with how much time science has shown the universe has been around. And it's problematic for them because, like you pointed out, if you go by the Bible, okay, and then if you come up with apologetics for why it looks like it's much more time than it actually was, according to the Bible, then you get into this problem of your perfect, loving, honest God who never lies is being deceptive, okay? Because they say, well, the reason that science thinks that it took millions of years for that light to get to Earth is because God set it up that way, so it looked like that. Or, or like with evolution, God's making certain things look that way. It's not really that star is millions of light years away. It's that's how God set it up to look that way. Well, then if that's true, then he's being deceptive. So you go against the science and you go down this whole rabbit hole of, well, why would God do that?
Yeah, and it's like, duh, like our issue with Genesis isn't that it says there was a beginning of time. My issue with it is there was this Gandalf figure there at the beginning of time, but that's what they believe, and it's like, duh, we all know that, right? So I don't really get our issue with the Genesis story or the way that the Bible talks about the beginning of time is that it states that it was 6,000 years ago. And we know that, no, it was like 13 billion years ago.
Well, I mean, and the chronology of it is completely off in the Bible. Like I pointed out earlier, supposedly God created plant life before there was ever a sun.
Yeah, yeah. There was like the strobe light, though. God brought a strobe light for the party. Another verse that he mentions there is Titus 1:2, and the hope of eternal life which God, who does not lie, promised before the beginning of time. We read Genesis. We know that God was there at the beginning of time, right? That's not the problem. The problem is science has proved that there was a beginning of time. We call it the Big Bang, and that was a long time ago. And that was a process of the Big Bang, not of God doing magic. I'm not a physicist. Yeah. I can't sit here and give you exactly what happened or what they theorize happened during, before we can see. Duh. I don't get your point. You're not proving to me God's existence. You're definitely not proving to me the Christian God. This doesn't prove the Christian God.
I imagine it to be something like this, and I've done this before. So it was like this. It was da 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 da. And that's the theme song from I Dream of Jeannie. And that's how it is. He created the universe. He blinked his eyes. There it is.
And the first few are all that. It's like the universe had a beginning, Genesis 1:1, Isaiah, blah, blah, blah. The universe was created from the invisible, Hebrews 11:34. The dimensions of the universe were created, Romans 8:38, 395. That one, didn't Romans come a lot longer? In a more advanced age of humanity, they probably had a better understanding.
He's a magician, you hire for a party, and hey, look at this man. And he picks up a pile of dirt. And he makes a man. And, and they say, hey, check this one out. Now I got this man here. I don't need the dirt. Let me just reach inside his chest and pull this rib out. And I'll make a woman for him. Yeah, here you go. Ta-da!
The earth is controlled by the heavens. Job 38:331. Most Christians would tell you, Job is just allegory. Right? Because it's such an awful story and makes their God look like shit. Earth is a sphere. Isaiah 40:22-13. The problem with that, Skyout, is we could point out several passages that say the earth is flat,
four corners of the earth.
Yeah.
And actually it's Job. Not to
I always do that shit, man. It's my mispronunciation.
But it reminds me, as an aside, there was this book that I read years and years ago, and I can't remember the exact title of it. It was like the journey of Job, or the life and times of Job, or whatever. And it wasn't about the Bible. It was about this guy that, and I got to go looking for that book again. I want to read it. It was about this guy who he was in this kind of time loop thing where he kept living his life, and then he would die for one reason or another, not at the same point, but at different points. He would end up dying, and then he would go back to the same position in his life, and have all this knowledge of what was coming and everything. And I wish I could remember the title of that book.
We've got a mad duck sighting in the side chat, John.
I see that.
He says you're dumber now.
He says I've gotten dumber. Now wait a minute. If Mad Ducks says you're getting dumber, doesn't that, because of the like transitive property or something, mean that I'm getting smarter? I mean, I don't know.
So I mean, yeah, pretty much. But like, so I really think that Skyout thinks he, hit a home run here. Like he probably thought, because he was joking at the beginning of the stream in the side chat, he probably thought I was going to convert, right? Like he probably thought he got me. Like, man, I done proved it. I done did it, because he sent me this morning before I announced the stream. He had to send me some more just. I don't know, just evidence of his argument here, and he really has to nail the whatever I'm trying to say. Mad Duck's got me all like scatterbrain and shit.
Well, and speaking of Mad Ducks, just if I could go on a little riff here.
Yeah, go for it, because I need to regather my thoughts here, I think.
And then he's going to come in and go right to the dumb. Okay, like saying that somebody else is dumb. I don't think, and we're here to talk about Skyout today, but I mean, I would imagine that on Skyout level, or maybe even like a level or two below Skyout, is where people like Mad Ducks live. I mean, I've not encountered any dumber human beings in my life than when it comes to John Maddox or Smokey Saint or Skyout or Otangelo Grasso. I mean, he talks about dumb. You read a book of mythology and you believe it to be true. He's in there saying that we're hilarious. Dude,
we are pretty hilarious.
Dude, there's a lot of laughing going on, but it's not you and us, okay? And if you're laughing at us, you're not picking up what we're putting down. You guys are fucking hilarious, okay? Fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's so funny. This just didn't do it, and Mad Ducks. I'd like to have a conversation with you one day about how you get to the Christian God at the beginning of the universe with all your science, but you're just not a very genuine person. But I find you entertaining as well, man. I think that you're hilarious myself.
You're talking about a guy who thinks he's a great debater.
Yeah.
He thinks he's good, and then he was going to finally, get to the big time.
Phone call, just
he was going to get to the big time, and he was going to get to debate Matt Dillahunty. And what did that fucking duplicitous motherfucker do? He started a GoFundMe to debate somebody because he needed money, because he had to take. I got to take a week off work so I can study up for this debate. Well, most people who debate and just do it as a side thing, they would just go to work, and then when they come home, they do their studying after work or before work or something like that. But nope. Hashtag John Maddox is a grifter. He saw an opportunity to make some money off of Matt Dillahunty's back. And so he started a GoFundMe because I'm going to debate Matt Dillahunty and I need money to do that. And as soon as Matt Dillahunty found out about it, I was like, fuck you, dude. You're going to fucking do a GoFundMe to debate me? Like, get the fuck out of here. Now, that's the funny part of it. Now, Matt Dillahunty, of course, he gets paid for doing his shit, but that's his profession. That's what he does full time. And here's this schmuck, this putz, John Mad Ducks, gets a chance to debate Matt Dillahunty. And what does he do? He uses it as a fucking platform to try and fucking make some money. And then I don't know maybe he would have taken that money and given it to a church or a charity or something. I don't know. But at any rate, now he's saying, hey, dumb fuck JP, Dillahunty gets paid $500 a debate, moron. Well, what did I just say, dipshit? Let me tell you something logical, plausible, probable. Mr. Logical, Plausible, Probable, who believes in the most illogical, impossible, improbable fucking things in the universe. Implausible, improbable, illogical. Tell you what,
Sorry, John. I got my finally got my phone call from the doctor I've been waiting on for 2 weeks, and I can't go in to see them until July 8th, dude. That sucks. But go ahead, go on your rant. I didn't mean to interrupt.
well, no. I mean, I was basically done. All I was going to just say now is that anybody's ever seen illogical, plausible, or implausible, improbable in a debate knows what a dickbag scumbag he is and the way he treats people, and he thinks he's so fucking smart, and he just comes off like this fucking pretentious, arrogant piece of shit. But he's so Christian. And the thing is I'll tell you this right now, John Mad Ducks. You pick the fucking topic. You pick the venue. Anywhere but any of these dumbass, like fucking, not on Smokey. It's not on whatever that other fucking dude's name is. You pick the topic. You pick the time. And I don't give a fuck what the topic is. I will clean your fucking clock in a debate because you are one of the stupidest motherfuckers I've ever encountered in my life. And you are one of the most piece of shit motherfuckers I've ever met. Okay. And you're a grifter, dude. You're a grifter. You get a chance to sit down with Matt Dillahunty, and what's the first thing you do? Oh, this is an opportunity for me to get some money out of my followers. So, look, dude, go find like a rusty railroad spike and fuck yourself up the ass with it. And then, get back to me with some pics on that. I'd really like to see that. And, pick the topic, pick the time, and I'll expose you for the fucking idiot you are.
Boom, challenge. I like it. This is why, this is the good thing about having John back. John don't mince his fucking words. I love it. And Brainbug, July 8th. I'm pretty disappointed in that. That's like a month away. That's I need my feet to be fixed so I can get back to work. That was bad news for me, but the pandemic has everything running behind now that everything's opening back up. I was very lucky to actually even get in and get my teeth pulled this week. I find Mad Duck's hilarious. He's funny.
He says, so I'm sorry about your mom. Like, dude, your condolences mean nothing to me. I mean, they mean nothing to me.
You up for MDD, John?
I'm up for MDD.
Modern day debate.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't understand the question. Like, where else would Mad Ducks get to debate? I mean,
well, there's Standing for Truth does debates. There's a couple.
Standing
channels.
for Truth. What's the other guy? Who's the? I can't. I've forgot all the names since I've been gone. Praise something.
Oh yeah, praise. I'm not that.
Praise.
I'm not.
Like, I don't want to do it. Look, but MDD would be better than any of them other fucking fuckwit channels.
But all right, so we're gonna
wait a minute. I'm sorry. So JP, your bitch ass. Your bitch ass up for MDD. Your bitch ass. Hey man, I'll be your bitch ass. Come on, baby.
All right, so
I'll tell you what, man. I'll bend over and you can drive.
I do want to put a whole bow in this Skyout thing that Skyout sent me, and I think you got him a little hot, and I like it. This is why we're glad John is back, because John don't mince his words. But he did send me this video, and this is something new that I've noticed. Like, Praise has started doing this too. It's like they're not even trying with they're not putting anything over these videos. They're just basically getting shit from other people and putting it on their channels. And I don't understand. It's not. They're not complying with fair use. Now, like, Praise did it with Steven Anderson, and I think Steven Anderson allows it. But I'm pretty sure, like, wherever Skyout got this shit, he didn't ask for permission to just show this dude's shit.
Yeah. It's like anytime Skyout writes something, there should be an equal number of pages for attributions. You know, he should have fucking footnotes for everything he ever fucking says, because none of it's his original thought or product.
And thank you very much, Guru Lady. Pray for your recovery. No one should have to go through pain like that. One Christian to one atheist, one human to another human. Take care, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah, I was hoping for it to be a little sooner, and this is just the appointment to go and get the damn results for the EMG. You know, this isn't the appointment that's like setting the surgery. So that's what's really disappointing. I wanted to be in there last week and finding out about the test results, and now I got to wait to July 8th. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, so I forgot to recognize I meant to do this a while back. My other brother from another mother, Maynard Saves in the house. How you doing? Smoke weed every day. Can't wait till I can do that again.
Yeah, you're getting there. It won't be long. I mean, it'd be too long for me to go without smoking weed, but it won't be long.
Yeah, fucking. By the time I get to smoke again, it'll be 9 years since I smoked a joint. I am going to.
I'm that asshole that'll tell you I'm smoking weed right now.
Well, yeah. I mean, and I could go like fucking one of the bad neighborhoods in the big city near me and get some fucking dirt weed that's like 50% seeds and stems, and I'm still gonna get fucked up off my ass the first time I smoke weed.
Oh yeah, it'll hit you hard. All right, so you remind me to unshare my screen, John, so it doesn't echo when we talk for you.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put it up. So Skyout put this video on his channel. It's not Skyout. It says it's titled "Believe in God in 5 Minutes: Scientific Proof." So not only did he just plagiarize the email to me, he's plagiarizing the whole fucking argument. I'm gonna add it to the.
Well, at least.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, well, at least Skyout didn't start a GoFundMe. To put this product on.
That is true. He could probably start a hashtag same as yours GoFundMe, and people would actually put money there.
Yeah. Hashtag John Maddox was grifter.
Yeah, that one never gets old either. I'm not gonna lie. Mad Ducks, that never gets old. We're gonna have fun with that until the end of time. But all right, here we go, John.
What? Okay.
My name is Gerald Schroeder. I have a, thank God, a strong science background from MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, bachelor's, master's, PhD, 7 years in the physics staff. Seen a whole range of atomic bombs detonated, moved to Israel, met my wife, Barbara Sofer, a great writer, and then teach Torah and science. So luckily, I'm lucky that I have the two that come together. And one of the questions...
Right, I think that's important, John. I don't know this guy. I've never heard of this guy. Can't even remember what he said his name was, honestly. But he just said he teaches Torah and science. Does that mean he's like a Jew? He could be like a Torah-observing Christian, I guess. But I have watched this. I don't think it clarifies. But like, is the Christian using a Jewish person to try to make his point?
I thought the Jews killed Christ.
Well, and I mean, I'm fairly certain that the Jews don't see Jesus Christ at the beginning of time. I'm pretty certain of that. Pretty certain that they might disagree there. All right, let's continue. Let me put it back on the stream.
Questions is
wait a minute. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not sure what this is. What's a Snorlax?
Snorlax, isn't that like a Pokemon?
Because Brainbug is referring to me debating Maddox. He says, make sure you wear a Snorlax onesie. It really triggered Maddox. I got to know what that's about. So somebody must have debated him and wore a Snorlax onesie.
Yeah, I think Snorlax might be a Pokemon. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I played Pokemon Go, but it's like ringing some bells there. I don't know. I'd have to watch that. I haven't seen that debate. Shoot me that link somewhere.
Yeah, hey, share that link, Brainbug, to whatever you're talking about. We want to see that.
That'd be funny. All right, I'm going to put back on the stream.
Is how can a scientist really believe that there's something what we refer to usually as God? Is this metaphysical whatever acting in the world or producing the world? The irony is the question's really a non-starter. Science has, in fact, discovered God. And you can talk to the hardline atheists, and they will say, it looks like science has indeed discovered God.
I don't think you can talk to a hardline scientist and get that answer, or
Yeah,
a hardline atheist. Yeah. I don't think that you would talk to a hardline atheist and get that answer that science has discovered God. In fact, I don't think that that's like an accurate statement. Science has discovered God. God was around before science, right?
yeah, and you were wondering a moment ago, like who this guy is, where's he coming from, what's his back. I mean, are you sure he's not a Pokemon?
It could
He
be.
kind of sounds like a Pokemon. I mean, he sounds like his power is to bore you to death. But
Yeah, this was weird, Skyout. This was weird. Like, you know, for one, it's weird that you're putting this on. Like, you should have some commentary in there. That's just like I'm an old school YouTuber, and I just think that that's like YouTube. Right?
and he sent you what? He sent you this link in his email.
Yeah, it was a separate email he sent this morning.
Oh, well, so it's like he wakes up at 4 a.m. last night. He's like, "Oh shit, I know the cherry on top to what I fucking sent to fucking." And if that big long-winded email, I'm pretty sure that got him. But if it didn't, man, this is the cherry on top. I'm gonna send him this video, and man, he gonna be praising God by the time he gets to watch it.
I think he showed up. He made sure to show up just to see if it worked. Like, like, am I the one that did it? Am I the one that made the raging atheist a Christian? No, dude. Like, this was the funniest shit, but I do appreciate the sentiment. At least you're trying.
I mean, like, okay, so if I end up, and I've admitted, hey, there's this way outside chance I could be wrong, but if I die and I find myself standing before the Christian God, the first thing I'm going to say to him is like, look, you're the one who lets motherfuckers like John Maddox and fucking Skyout and Smokey Saint shill for you down on fucking Earth. So is it any wonder a reasonable-minded, intelligent person wouldn't believe in your ass? Look at the motherfuckers you send to tell us about you.
Yeah, I mean, P Mars. That's all you got to really say. P Mars.
Yeah.
Man, I'm laughing too. I always tell myself, like, don't laugh so much in streams, and I've been doing pretty good about that. But like, this one's just a funny one, man. I'm having fun with this shit. Like, this was like, it was hilarious to me, and it's something that like I've said for a long time. Like, especially like Christians that use these scientific arguments, Otangelo that uses these scientific arguments. You have to ignore so much about the Bible. The Bible is really a fucking problem for you guys. And I'm sorry that that's the truth of it, but it really is the truth of it. Your Bible is a problem for your religion. And the farther out we get from this whole, like, Jesus dying and coming back and was supposed to come back and he never did, the more that Bible becomes problematic. So it's just a fact
where it's
of it.
Like what Jesus is about 2,000 years late, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it was supposed to be that first generation, and they got apologetics for that, though. It's funny, like, because you point out the term itself, apologetics, and you point it out, like, that's kind of ironic, right? Like, you're literally apologizing for your God, and then they get so butthurt about that. But like, no, we're not. Like, it's called apologetics.
You're not reading the Bible right.
Yeah, I didn't go to school for 20 years like Jill wants me to. But Jill didn't either.
Jill.
It's that whole interpretation argument.
Jesus is Lord. Okay, yeah, Jill. Hey, yeah, Jill, if you listen to this sometime in the future, where's my $1,000, you fucking...
Oh, yeah, you ain't never getting that. You ain't never getting that.
No, I know I'm not.
Like, we did catch him one day, and, like, you actually shared the shit, and he still was like, nuh-uh.
Yeah, so he said, well, I don't know who that John Peterson is you stole those records off of. But, that was his excuse.
Yeah, that's
what I'll tell you what.
That was
Jill,
like a Jay Pasek channel or some shit like that.
Jill, I'll tell you one thing. Like, okay, and this is gonna, my apologies because this is some guttural fucking stupid shit. But tell you what, I'll forget, keep the $1,000 and let me just spend a night with your wife, and we're even.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we missed about John Peterson, y'all. Y'all knew you missed that shit. Oh, fuck, man. I'm having too much fun with this, John. I'm so glad that you're back. It's you've been around forever, man. It makes me laugh, some of the shit that you just fucking come out with.
No, hey, Mad Ducks, listen, you fucking dumbass. Okay, think outside your little fucking myopic, like, little box of a mind, okay? He's not saying that apologetics means apologizing for God, okay? He's saying that that's what it ends up being.
Yeah,
okay?
and then you get so butthurt when we point it out.
Yeah. It's because, apologetics is not literally apologizing for God, okay? But we're taking it as the meaning of it's apologetics because that's what you're doing, is you're apologizing for how fucking stupid and immoral this fucking unseen God is that you follow. This fucking baby killing, fucking gay hating, woman hating piece of garbage. And then, when that's pointed out to you, what the horrible things in the Bible, then you go into your excuses, your apologetics, hey, you're not reading the Bible right.
Yeah, I can't see the chat right now.
But it just, I got to tell you.
I can't see the chat when I have this up, but it always makes them so butthurt when I use that, when I reference it like that. But you're right, like it's what it comes down to. You have to apologize for the atrocious God of your Bible, and try to explain it away. And to me, that's just a lack of faith, yo.
Yeah, I mean, I got to tell you right now, there's no greater badge of honor to wear than for John Maddox to say that you're a dumb motherfucker.
Yeah, I am a dumb motherfucker.
That would be like me. That'd be like, I'm calling you. Oh, man, never mind.
That's the funny thing, and the big difference between me and John Maddox is he tries to pretend to be a smart guy, and I'm just me. So like it's fairly easy to kind of see through it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna throw this back. You got something else, John?
No, go on, man.
All right, we got about 4.5 minutes left. So.
All right.
And how would that be? Well, if you take the
It's a
trouble
little
of going
low.
to the web and they're typing WMAP,
Can't turn it
the
up
initials for a satellite, it's a diagram that shows the development of the universe from the creation over time. It's a timeline. Every word on that diagram comes from the NASA site. It is the condensed knowledge of the scientific community of how the universe created and how it got to where we are today. Each of the lines, the vertical lines, is another billion years. Okay, you start from a burst of energy.
Yep, I mean that's a problem with the Bible, right? Like that's a huge problem with the Bible, and that's why we say the two don't relate. And you're not talking about a Christian God now. You're talking about something else that might have been at the beginning of time, the one moment, the one period that we just can't see yet. That we're just not sure what happened there. It could have been Gandalf, and it could have been some nuclear explosion. Who knows? Like we don't know yet. Right? Like we know it was like I said the word explosion, so there goes Matt Powell with his thug lives now.
Yeah, but it's a literal explosion. Here we go.
Expansion. There was an expansion.
See this? There. That's how you spell Bible.
Bible. Oh man, and I mean like this is. It's crazy. It's just it's a huge. You're leaving out most of what your Bible says about the beginning of the universe, to accept what science is saying about the beginning of the universe. You're leaving out a whole bunch of that. But all right, I'm gonna continue it.
Extreme left side of the diagram, and you end up at the far end with the oval. The oval is to indicate expansion in all directions, of course, because it's a timeline. We can't show that on a single piece of paper. We see here, most amazingly, that on the extreme left edge, it shows a beginning to the universe. Now go back less than 50 years. If I were teaching that at Tech, I might have, a person could lose tenure saying that there was a creation of the universe. It sounds like it's Bible. Because less than 50 years ago, the overwhelming scientific opinion was the universe is eternal. There was never a beginning. The Bible is wrong from the very first sentence. And then we just...
Yeah, I'm not. I need to look that up because I mean that's something that I've been hearing Christians say now, and I'm just like we've had these religions. I mean, if people thought that there was a beginning to the universe, it's because we've had these religions saying that there was a beginning to the universe for 10,000 years. I don't understand the point here. I don't see the controversy.
And he said that was the predominant theory or whatever words he used. No, it was never. It was one of the hypotheses, and it's never was the predominant hypothesis. And then he had that graphic on the screen, and he seemed to be saying that it was incomplete or it doesn't really show the whole story, or I think dude Pokemon there doesn't understand what a graphic is. Okay, it's like it's a representation. Of course you can't fit it all on one piece of paper, dumbass. Like,
yeah, I mean it's the fucking universe, right? And it's the one thing you didn't see on that diagram, John, was Gandalf the Grey. You didn't see him there at the very beginning. You just didn't see that. That's not part of the equation, at least when it comes to the science of it. They want to make that part of the equation, and they have to put that part of the equation there to make it part of the equation.
I think Mad Dog's now he's going into his I'm going to pretend to be a scientist fucking
he hit the meth pipe. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, we don't contemplate the necessary collapse of universal wave function in order for all this to exist. Yeah, you convinced me, John. You convinced me.
Yeah, and I can't see the chat right now, but yeah, that's the whole point of this is it's laughable that they think that these things are going to change our mind, or you're gonna. I don't know. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Like, all of this has been like, duh. Let's talk. Like, my rebuttal would be like 150 verses that say the complete opposite of the verses that they had that Skyout pointed out to me, in particular. This says this. So what about this verse, Skyout? Explain that.
Well, all I say to Skyout is claim that there's a God. Nuh-uh.
Yeah, it's and definitely same as yours. Definitely.
Yeah, same as yours. No.
Was Skyout the guy that said no? It wasn't Skyout. It was that NIFB dude that came on. I can't remember his name. But the Christian that said that if the Bible said the sky was made of cheese, I'd believe the sky was made of cheese. You remember that?
I vaguely remember somebody talking like that.
Soldier for Christ was his name.
That reminds me of CJ Cox on MPD. And I think maybe Maddox took part in this when they were talking about whether the flood was moral or not. And fucking Skylar, and I think it was maybe Skylar and Dr. Josh, but they got fucking CJ to admit that if God told him to kill a baby, that would be all right and he would do it.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Or it might have been like that if God did it, then it has to be okay because God did it. Like, it reminds me of people who say their morals come from God, and I've heard many Christians say when asked, well, if you found out tomorrow there's no God, then would you just be a horrible person and not? Oh yeah, what reason would I have to be a good person?
Yeah, I've had Christians tell me they'd literally kill themselves if they woke up tomorrow and knew that there was no God, that they would take their own life.
I mean, it's like, which morality is stronger? The morality that tells you to be a good person because you're going to get to go to heaven when you die, or the morality that comes from respect of your fellow man and society at large, and just being a good member of that society? Which morality is stronger? Do you have to have some kind of reward to be a moral and good person? Or are you going to just do it because you share the planet with your fellow human beings and you don't want them to treat you like shit, so you're not going to treat them like shit? Which one's stronger?
Yeah, I often wonder that. Like, it's a scary thing, you know. Like, what was the guy? He was on Duck Dynasty. It was like the older guy, that came out and said, you know, like, y- without God, people would just go out and rape and murder, and it's like it's a bunch of nonsense. I mean, like the nuns are like 25% now, and you don't see like they're just not going out and raping and murdering, and it's like it's fear mongering is all it is, and they're so afraid that this myth, because you know, like people that say these things, I honestly believe they have that inner voice telling them this is bullshit. So it's like it's almost like they as we said earlier, they have to convince themselves, because the farther and farther they get removed from these ancient times, the harder it is to really believe in these ancient fucking myths.
Yeah, and John like is really,
Is he really
you know,
triggered? I wish I could see the chat
I
right
think
now.
he is. I think he's triggered. I think he's triggered. He's a, it's he says, "Are you too dumb? To dumb? Are you too dumb to realize I was stating what the ultimate options are? Our scientists, yeah, no, R O U R, not ARE. Our scientists are searching for universal wave function. I'm not making this up. It's a foundation of cosmology. Okay, but see here, you're missing my point completely. What does cosmology have to do with showing that there's a God? It doesn't matter what scientific fact you point out, or as you often do, what scientific non fact, things that you claim are science that aren't. It doesn't matter whether it's real, whether it's established science or not. That doesn't get you to God. Okay, you're just saying that this outrageous or uh, this complicated thing in science or in reality around us couldn't exist without my God. But you take that step without showing any further proof. So you can quote all the scientific facts you want. It does not point to the existence of a God. That is your claim. That's your belief. That's all that is.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Skyout was saying in his email was like, you know, uh, any inference of intelligibility means there must be intelligence behind it, and I think that this is how like this type of thinking is really how ancient humans came to believe, like, you know, the wind had a god and intelligence, right? Like the wind and the elements and all this shit, right? Like, no, we know that shit. We know that the wind isn't a god, the sun isn't a god. You know, we've come beyond all these archaic and primitive ideas, except for the vast majority of the planet somehow gets stuck on this one, you know, whether or not a god exists. We just don't have any evidence to believe that. That's why you have to rely on faith.
Maddox says, "You think I'm triggered," with a bunch of laughy cry emojis. He says, "I'm laughing my ass off at you guys.
Well, I'm sure. I'm
Like,
sure.
I'm
Yeah,
laughing
it's
my
cool.
ass off. You guys are, how about you guys are making my move entertaining. What move are you are you taking a shit while
I think he
watching
sold his
this?
house because, like, I thought he lived with his sister, and he's like, no, dude, I'm selling my house," and that wasn't long ago, so he probably sold his house.
His sister wife.
I never said that. I thought like his sister was sick, and he was living in her basement, like literally living in her basement. You know, basements can be really nice, and you turn it in. I thought he was like there. I don't know. I was confusing him with somebody else.
Yeah, well, no,
It
I
wasn't
mean,
him.
John Maddox actually saves a lot of money at Christmas and birthday times, like because when he introduces his sister and his wife to people, there's only one woman standing next to him. So, when it comes to Christmas, he only has to buy one gift and he's got both his wife and his sister covered.
I am digging the venom. I think that it's just it's fun to just not give a fuck and to just tell these people honestly what they are. I mean, like I watched the Mad Ducks several times now in several debates. I've never really seen them be civil to anybody ever.
Right.
And it's just I missed this John Peterson, the one that would just like tell it like it is.
Yeah. and he always has that same look on his face, and he'll sit there when it's not his turn and his interlocutor is speaking, and he like chuckles and chortles to himself really low, and he's got this Eddie Haskell look on his face. I know a lot of you youngsters out there don't know who I'm talking about, but leave it to Beaver. He's that fucking snide fucking Eddie Haskell, like, yeah, I'm the shit. And it's just so fucking hilarious, man. Especially you see him sit there, and on the other side, there's somebody who really knows what they're talking about, and he sits there with that little snide look on his face, and a chuckle and chortle here and there, and he doesn't even realize what a dumbass he makes himself look like.
No, I can't wait. We're gonna have to make this modern day debate happen. This is gonna be epic. I can't wait. I don't know if I'm gonna watch all this video, John. How long? We've been going for a couple hours now.
Yeah, I think we should start wrapping it up.
Yeah,
so.
that's what I'm thinking too. I think the point has been made. It's just laughable to me. I mean, like I think that these arguments can be good arguments, but never for a particular God. I think it's more for like maybe some universal entity or whatever, some intelligence to the chaos of the expansion, whatever. I don't know. But like you don't get to any specific deity with these teleological arguments, I don't think. And especially like trying to add on modern science into it to like kind of prove your point. I just think you fail every single time.
It's that one thing.
You fail because they have to misrepresent it and not represent it accurately.
What's that one thing that Matt Powell always brings up? He said, like, I can't even remember the figure. Like, for the universe to have existed, there was like a million millionths of something or other. Like it's incredulity. Like, wow, the idea that this happened without some force behind it. It's so much of a small percentage it could happen. That must mean that something had to do it. A God had to have done it. He uses that argument all the time, and a lot of them do. Like I don't understand how this could have happened if my God doesn't exist. Well, we can't understand how you can look at all this and look at the science and decide that there's some fairy in the sky that's responsible for all of it.
I guess somebody did wear a onesie, dude. Like the dumbass one wore a onesie the other day. Thought that. Oh, I've got to see that now. That's gonna be hilarious. Yeah, like it's all kind of just nonsensical to me. Like I don't know. It's when you tell me that the Bible, when you tell me Skyout that the Bible is 99% accurate. Right. My first thought is the flood. Like we know that the flood didn't happen. There wasn't this global flood like the Bible says. There very well could have been a regional flood that was large enough to where this myth came from, but it would have been a lot longer, a lot earlier than what the Bible says when that happened. 6,000 years ago. I think the closest possibility of a flood in the local area would have been like something like 20,000 years ago or something like that. But
well, and I'm gonna make the call right now without even asking Knock first. But the next time me and Knock get together here on this channel, we're gonna fucking review the onesie fucking debate.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it. I mean, if it's a bunch of science that I don't know about, it might not be, I might have to actually do some research.
Well, no, and I mean, we could just like review the lousy parts.
We can figure it out. I'll have to check it out.
We'll figure it out. But I get and hey guys, you got, I don't know how many of you have my email, or I know a lot of you have Rage's emails available, but whatever dumbass here decides, as far as the topic and when on MDD, send your suggestions as to what I should wear.
Yeah, that's gonna be epic. I can't wait for it. It'll be your first official debate, right?
Might be my second. I can't remember.
Gavin never did the debate with you, right?
No, he pussied out.
Yeah,
and then so like I'm thinking, this is what I'm thinking I might wear. Is I don't know if anybody remembers when Skylar talked to Jill several months ago, and he covered up Jill's avatar with a picture from a dude at a gay pride parade who had rainbow suspenders on, and he had a dildo hanging off his forehead. I think I might dress like that.
I must have missed that, Skylar. I think he told me about that, and I never went and watched it. Yeah, I miss all the good shit, dude. So yeah, this was fun. I mean, I enjoyed the email. I enjoyed the effort by Skyout to try to convert me. I don't get that from Christians anymore. I enjoyed the way he titled it, "You Suck Dick." That was pleasant. I had some chuckles with that. What was the other one called? The second one was just titled "Scientific Evidence for God." See, like, that's the Christian title, Skyout, not "You Suck Dick." You know, "Scientific Evidence for God" should have been the title of the email, the first email you sent me, just out of the blue, out of nowhere. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? I got an email from Skyout. I thought maybe he was like asking me for, like, you know, wanting to come on the channel or something. And nope, it was this long ass like clusterfuck of words that we just went through.
And you know, if like here's the scientific proof of God. Some Pokemon talking for 5-10 minutes, you know, like, yeah, no, not scientific proof, dude. And does Maddox have your email?
Maybe, I'm not sure.
I mean, it's public. He's got it in all kinds of places. I think it might even be on your channel page, isn't it?
Maybe
somewhere. But yeah, if you email Knock, give Maddox my email so that we can get this set up. Also, Randolph Richardson, yeah, you know, he's being hostile, but it's in reaction to me. I've been going balls deep on him for like the last half hour, so he can be hostile. He's that guy if he ever got into a hostile situation, he'd fucking curl into the fetal position and piss his pants. But
Perfect asks if you have a Bo Peep outfit. Little Bo Peep.
Bo Peep. Yeah, there's Rage's email right there that he just posted. Mad Ducks.
That's never gonna get old either. Like, I have to toot my own horn here. I give the best nicknames. I mean, I think we could just settle that. I give the best nicknames.
Well, and you know, and the thing is this is what I think of John Maddox's character. Once he emails you and you do provide my email to him, I'm relatively sure that email is going to be everywhere in cyberspace after that, because he is one of the most immoral pieces of shit I've ever encountered in my life.
Oh, like well, my email's like public, so it wouldn't be any sweat off of like Smokey to put my email out. As far as I know, Will Kincaid hasn't put my phone number out, and he's had that. So I mean, that's kind of always been, you know, I don't talk about it, but like he's had that information. I have his phone number, but you know, they've never put that out. I don't know. I don't think John would. I think he'd respect your privacy. Maybe.
Pagan Monk says that I have to grow a full beard for Bo Peep. She typed both Peep though, but no, I can't grow a full beard because when I was about 3 or 4 years old, I reached up to the top of the stove and pulled a pot of coffee onto my head and had to be rushed to the hospital and suffered severe burns, and it stopped the growth of my facial hair quite a bit. If I try and grow a beard, I just get this patchy thing that
I can grow a full beard, but it drives me fucking crazy. It drives me nuts. I hate it. All right. Yeah, I had fun, John, and I'm glad you're back too. I know, you know, Randolph is saying it's nice to hear your voice again. I hadn't seen you around. Yeah, John went through some family shit. You know, I'm going through some family shit, and you know, excuse me. You know, me and John are like pretty much on the same page. You know, and where we're at with it, I think too, and it's. I think, especially for me, like as the raging atheist, I've been doing this for 4 years. You know, I've talked to a lot of different Christians. You know, like that whole thing in my new intro where Smokey's like, you need to stop debating just the King J onlyists. whatever that is, like stop making up words. But like, no, I've talked to a bunch of different Christians at this point, like probably all of them. Like I don't remember talking to like a Calvinist, but then I find out like I think Veckel might be a Calvinist, so I have talked to a Calvinist. I just didn't know I was fucking talking to a Calvinist, So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that Veckel identifies as a Calvinist based on the Hobbes and Calvin cartoon.
And I was watching something the other day, or something that Secular Pagan Mom sent me. I think it was maybe this morning, like a Brucifer stream or something like that Veckel was on, and he was talking about subscribing to Calvinism. Something I never knew. Like I don't really know Veckel well, because every time we talk, we don't really get into theocracy, because it's just a bunch of bullshit about, I hate lefties. He's a true Trumper, that one. But yeah, I think it's time to get out of here. We've been streaming for a while, man. It was good. I had fun, dude, and I'm glad you're back. I can't, the new show starts next week, 6 to 10 p.m. So hopefully you'll be able to be a part of that for at least part of it anyway. I know that gets a bit late for your boomer o'clock. I might be having, it might be like 6 to 9 p.m. and then open room after show from like 9 to 11, something like that. I might decide to do that.
We'll figure it all out.
Or I think it would be 6 to 8 p.m. and then an after show from 8 to 10 or something.
Well, so anyway, yeah, I'm glad to be back. Love all you guys in the chat. Even Maddox, love you, man. Because
have fun with
where would my laws come from if not from idiots like you?
I enjoy the Mad Ducks. I'm the raging atheist, and he's the raging Mad Ducks. So I can't knock it.
Can't knock it.
Yep, can't knock it. But all right, I do have a new video out on the new channel, The Godless One. It's Why Do Christians Hate Abortions? Smokey Saint brilliantly commented, I think, because they skipped you. Which I thought was a good comment, John. John didn't understand it at first, but I got a chuckle out of it. I'm like, that's pretty good, Smokey. That's pretty good. Christians hate abortions because they skipped me with the abortion thing. I should have been aborted. That's pretty good. I dig it. I'm talking to Jake the Snake, I believe, or the Snake is right. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
About finally having a political conversation. I know he was a Trumper back in the day. I'm interested to see if he's still a Trumper since January 6th. With my teeth, we didn't settle it. So he sent me an email wanting to have that conversation still. So I should be talking to him soon. And I'll probably hopefully be talking to CJ Cox Thursday about homosexuality. He doesn't think homosexuals are oppressed. So we're going to have that conversation on his channel Thursday.
So, Randolph, anytime Knock mentions any times, it's always the Eastern time zone.
Yeah. The world should exist in Eastern Standard Time. My opinion. All other time zones are invalid. I hate time zones. Fucking hate them. I really do. I despise them. But yeah. All would be Eastern Standard Time. I still have to reach out to CJ and reschedule that. But I'm hoping that would be on Thursday. And then I'm gonna reach out to Snake is Right, and we're gonna do that political conversation. That'll be fun, and I'll get back into the conversations. And then now that you're here, now that you're back, John, probably start doing some open rooms again as well. So
Yep.
But all right, we're going to get out of here. John, I do have a new Patreon video, although I do want to touch it up. So I'm going to share the screen, and we're going to get out of here.
Let me just say before you do, be the conversation, folks.
Yep, be the conversation. Y'all have a good night, and thank you, patrons. So here we go, John. Y'all have a good one. And as always, I have to send a big thank you to my patrons. My patrons have been there for me on the internet